happened to me? Time just goes by and we stay in the same place. First, we have to understand that we don't always know, but second of all, we have to not focus on why we got to this place, why we're in the place we're in, no matter who did what to us. It reminds me of another interesting story about a king who went fishing in this river, and he lost his ring. And he calls all his advisors, and he says, any one of you who gets me my ring back, I will give you whatever you want, fulfill all your wishes, answer any questions, whatever you want, I'll do for you. No one moves because they know that there's snapping turtles, there's alligators, there's all this stuff in the water. And no one wants to move. Suddenly, this one guy jumps in. 3 minutes later, comes out with the ring. He's all bloody. His blood gushing out. His shirt's all messed up, full of blood. And he says, King, here it is. He says, okay, my special advisor, what can I do for you? What can I get you? What, you have a question, something, whatever you want is yours. He says, I have only one thing. I want to know who's the guy who pushed me into the water. He could have had anything. And instead of asking for gold, silver, property, houses, anything, he takes that opportunity, wastes the opportunity, because he wants to know who did it then. It's like that. We do the same thing in our life. Instead of spending the effort and the time in moving ourselves forward, we spend the time and energy in why are we here? Why was that to us? Who did what? We have a limited amount of time in the day to actually get stuff done, actually focus and direct our energies. It's limited. We actually look at our life. Very limited amount of time to move things. You know, almost every single person overestimates what we can do in a year. Time just goes by. And if we spend the energy on what's not important, if we focus on the things that are not so important, we won't be able to achieve the things we came here to achieve. It's like, you look at Lance Armstrong, Tour de France and all this. Before he got sick, he won 0 Tour de France's. 0. Only after he got sick. Now, if he spent his time afterwards figuring out why he got sick, he doesn't even know Tour de France. You know, so many times after something happens, we actually grow. But as long as we leave the victim consciousness behind and we embrace our new situation as a new challenge, and then make something of the life that we're given, and not stay in the old place and blame the rest of the world for everything that we have or don't have. We have to push forward and start focusing on the future instead of focusing on the past. Focusing on what we can do and not on what has been done. Then when we start looking at solutions to moving forward and new focus. Unfortunately, there are 2 types of solutions. Fake solutions and real solutions. To explain. Fake solution. A fake solution, it's like this 30 years we're visiting Afghanistan. 30 years we're visiting Afghanistan. What happened? A bunch of years ago, the Russians invaded Afghanistan. Big problem for the U.S. The communists are moving south in Asia. Big problem. So we go and we give billions and billions of dollars to the freedom fighters. Genius idea. We give all this money to the freedom fighters because that's going to solve our problem. The freedom fighters actually win, and the Russians evacuate, and they leave, and they retreat. The only problem is those freedom fighters become the Taliban. Now we have to spend another billions and billions and billions of dollars to take away the people that we actually put in the first place. And it's like, when any problem comes to us, the immediate problem to solve is not just, what do we do right now? But when we look at anything that's either a global kind of thing or even in our life, there are real solutions and there are fake solutions. Someone who has constant headaches and keeps on popping, whether it's Advil or something more to get the headaches and stuff. At some point, you should go to the doctor and check maybe there's something else happening. Instead of just having a fake solution. But it's true in our life in general. And sometimes those real solutions, sometimes they're even, a little painful. Painful to have a real solution. You look at a conflict. I traveled to the Middle East a lot. Traveled to Israel, to the Palestinian territories. I traveled to Syria. Traveled to Iran. Different places there. There's a real problem there. Somewhat religion-based, somewhat land-based. To actually have a solution there, it's going to take some real compromise on both sides. To have a real solution, sometimes it's actually difficult. And we have to sacrifice for a real solution. When two people are married for 5-7 years, and they're starting to have issues, as most people have, in order for them to be able to move forward, it's going to take some real compromise. Or for any two people to have a long-lasting relationship, whether it's friends or family or a loved one, it's going to take some real compromises. We're not naturally born to be able to share our life with other people. That's not our nature. Our nature as human beings is not to be trusting and sharing our life with others. In order to have a real connection to somebody else, we have to make compromises. But real compromises, not fake ones. Real compromises. I've had to actually one of my compromises, forever I sleep with my wife and my BlackBerry, right next to me. I charge it, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm checking my email, checking this, if I'm at a movie, one of those compromises is at certain times, not just give it up, you can't give up your BlackBerry, but you could find the middle ground. Well, at least I can. You'll find the middle ground. If it's that, being present, for me being present, I travel, so when I'm home, to be actually there, to be actually present with my children, present with my wife. It's not easy. I'm a Gemini. I'm very ADD and out of focus a lot. And to be able to focus my energy, so it's not easy for me. It's one of those things I forced myself to be able to do. And any one of us, either with our children or even at work, if we want long-lasting, fulfilling relationships, there are compromises that we will have to do. And if we are unwilling to compromise, unfortunately, we won't be able to have long